howdy, hey friends. Welcome to another vlog. So some updates. First of all, I'm looking at, and I'll show you, come here Pinocchio. Poor Pinocchio, there's so much to tell. So we've gone forward with getting our deck replaced, which I think I might have mentioned in the last vlog. So they've demolished, if you will, or you know what I mean, torn up the original deck, but we're reusing some of the, you'll see some of it is absolutely rotted out, like no way. That'll be replaced, but the other half is actually still looking pretty good. The, what do you call it? Like the foundation of it, if you will. Anyway, so that's good because that's gonna save us a little bit of money, but Pinocchio, they left this little walkway for him to kind of walk out for now until they get further along. He's drinking some water. And Pinocchio the other night was acting so weird and he was just being super clingy, and he always likes when we pet him and stuff, but it was over the top. Like I would go into the bathroom and he'd be scratching at the door. I'm like, okay, he never does this. I'd sit down and he'd be laying on my chest, which he never does. So of course I'm like Googling it, like, is he sick? Does he know that I'm sick? Like, does he know something I don't know? You know, you're down like in that Google rabbit hole. So as it turns out, and I think I knew this, but dogs can get really anxious and clingy when there's a big change to their like surroundings. And we're kind of talking about it. And I'm like, I think it's the deck. Like he would spend so much time out there and he doesn't know that it's okay, buddy. Like we're getting a new one. To him, his world back there is just torn up and he doesn't know why. So I think that's all it is. And he's gotten better the past few days. But in the evening, especially, he's still been pretty clingy, but he's still eating, like he's fine. I also want to thank Brooklinen for sponsoring a portion of this video. We'll talk about that in just a bit. We're trying out their linen collection. Y'all, get ready. Another update is Miss Genevieve is graduating preschool today, which is adorable. So we're going to that. So I look a little maybe dressier than normal, and I'm just so excited, and her grandparents are going to be there too. And so it's just going to be a happy day. She was so excited getting ready this morning, and she woke up and she'd already opened her curtains and she was getting dressed. It was adorable. So I also got a new planner. So, okay, you guys have watched me for years going through my planner, like trial and error. So I had gone back to my, day designer. I like a daily planner, but what I've realized is because I don't use it every single day, I felt like I was wasting so much of the planner. So then I tried to do digital ones, like on GoodNotes. I bought this really nice pack that you can download that's PDF, and then you can have it in your GoodNotes or whatever app you use. I can write on it. But I also didn't use that. And it was kind of overwhelming to find the day I was on. And if I wanted to go to other parts of the planner, it was too much. So I'm a paper pencil gal anyway. So I went back to a brand I have not used in a long time, Erin Condren. And I used to get their like life planners. And again, it was really, really thick. This is my new favorite thing. I just got it in the mail, but I can already tell you it is an undated weekly planner. And what I've realized is I really liked this really simple setup where you've got, you know, whatever day you can date it yourself. So if an entire week is skipped, it doesn't matter. I can just go to you know what I mean? But there's room for like your to-do list and then this blank area where I could write maybe my schedule for that day. I've just realized I don't need a lot of room for the way that my day goes. It's usually like, okay, what are the things I absolutely have to film today or edit today or send to a brand or emails, invoices, tax stuff, whatever. This is perfect. And of course, with my job and my life, it's all very intertwined. Like for example, I'm going grocery shopping today because I need to, and I'll include that in this vlog, but it's also technically kind of work because I am including it in a vlog. So because of what I do and it all being mixed up, this is kind of perfect. So wanted to mention it because I didn't know Erin Condren sold anything like this. And I was looking at like cheaper ones on Amazon, and I was like, I'll go into Target and look at those. But it was harder to find an undated one that I liked. So anyway, this was probably more expensive than it needed to be. It is really nice. And I will say I was against it not having, like, I didn't like that it wasn't spiral bound, but it actually will lay flat really well. So there you go. I'm really excited about it. I was just going through though. I'm like, all right, it's the end of May and I'm just starting it. And even though it's undated, it does have like a month spread before you go into the like days. And I was like, do I want to like waste a page in here and then it would be all of those weeks until the next month? Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, maybe I'll wait and do my to-do. I don't know. I'm being ridiculous. I know. I think I'm just going to start. It's also Thursday that I'm filming this. So I'm like, it's kind of like really a waste of time. I don't know. But I do need to make my little to-do list. And you know what? While I'm here, while I gotcha, I need to meal plan because I'm going to go to Aldi today and get groceries. And I don't really know what we want to make, but you guys are going to be really excited. You know, I've been talking about my recipe binder I've had forever. I finally organized it. I started it on Mother's Day, didn't finish it. But this is something I've been wanting to do forever. And I knew it would take me like 10 minutes. But it was just one of those projects, you know, where for whatever reason, you just can't possibly get it done. So here's the only downer though. The organizers, like the tab organizers I had, they're normal size, but they don't go past where the recipes are. So you can't see the organization at first glance, which is gonna drive me nuts. So I need to find out, do they sell ones that are literally longer? Because I have these, the recipes themselves in, this is what we had for dinner last night. I have the recipes themselves in these little protectors. So that way when we're cooking and oil gets splashed on it, it's not ruining the printed out recipe. Anyway, so my organization goes as follows. Dinners, which is in the front because that is what I'm using this most for. And then slow cooker I did do separate because I always say it wrong, fleshing out my slow cooker collection. And I really decluttered and recycled a lot of these recipes that were ones that we tried once and we were like, eh. I'm like, okay, we don't need to keep it. This is meant to be like our holy grail recipe book of things that are tried and true, or maybe there are a couple I found that I really want to try soon. So like all of our slow cooker ones we love. I've got desserts, and again, almost all of those are ones we've made numerous times, we know we love. And then I had appetizers, because that's another one like for parties and stuff. And then bread and muffins. So I still need a few more. So honestly, if I'm gonna have to buy new ones, I'm gonna make sure I have more than just 5, because I also wanted one for drinks. Like we have a few punch recipes. And then I also had ones like, I want like a veggies and sides organizer. And then maybe like we have these energy balls we make, and they're made of peanut butter and they kind of taste desserty. They're amazing. I'll link the recipe below. Let me see what website can I find what recipe I got it on? I don't know. But anyway, where do I categorize that, you know? I don't really have a snacks category. I guess I'm like maybe desserts, but I'm like, but that's not, like where would I naturally look for it? I don't know. Either way. So those are ones I still need to organize, but generally this is so amazing. I literally got rid of half of the junk that was in here, which was amazing. Anyway, so it's a good feeling. Now I need to meal plan. I was like, why were we talking about this in the first place? That would be why. Thank you to Brooklinen for sponsoring this part of the video. You guys, we just tried their new washed linen bedding set. And I have to tell you, it might be my new favorite. And I know it's Tyler's favorite of all the sheet sets we've tried from Brooklinen. So Brooklinen is a luxury sheets company. They create really high quality goods to elevate your home. We love their towels. We love their bedding. We have been using Brooklinen for, oh my gosh, many years now. And we keep going back to them because I feel like investing in high quality home goods, especially bedding, is important. I don't want to feel like every time I wash my sheets that they're unraveling or they're falling apart. I want these to last a really, really long time. And that's what we found with Brooklinen. And in fact, I would say their bedding gets softer every time you wash it, which is incredible. And the other thing I think a lot about is we live so much of our life while sleeping. You know what I mean? Like a third of our life is spent in bed. And I feel like if I'm going to spend my money on anything, that is a worthwhile thing to spend it on. So I always go for their cream colors. They're just my favorite. That is the look I love in a bed. But Brooklinen just launched a bunch of new colors and patterns. And so I feel like if I were to break up with my like cream linen obsession, I would probably go for one of their striped ones. They have this set that is periwinkle, and it's like stripes with periwinkle. I think they call it Peri Splash Stripe. They also have a charcoal chambray striped one. I am a fan of those. So if I were to switch it up, that's probably what I would do. So Brooklinen has over 100,000 5-star reviews. I'm not the only one that loves them. And I love that you can mix and match over 20 different colors and patterns just to suit whatever you like. I feel like that can look really, really cool. So as I said, we have Brooklinen's washed linen hardcore sheet bundle. And actually by purchasing a bundle instead of buying individual items, you can save 20%, which is a really nice chunk off. So their hardcore sheet bundle comes with their core sheet set. It also comes with a duvet cover and 2 extra pillowcases. And their washed linen, it's 100% linen. It's made in Portugal. It is so much more cooling while you're sleeping. And the thing that I think that's so interesting to me about this, like this past week as we've been sleeping on this or with it, you know, Tyler is a really hot sleeper, so he's loving that it feels a lot more lightweight and breathable in the summer. I feel like it's lightweight and I'm not overheating, but it still has that cozy feeling because it's linen. Like it somehow does both, which I think is incredible. But I love that if you're not into linen, they have so many different types of sheet sets you can opt for. My other recommendation, if you're not into the linen, is their Luxe Sateen line. That's been our favorite for a very long time. So right now, Brooklinen is offering you guys 15% off of your first order. You can click the link below to get that offer. And I just feel like with warm weather here, this is the kind of bedding we really do need, where it is a little bit more like lightweight. You lay down and you feel revitalized in your bed, you know what I mean? But the other thing is, and I was trying to find the words to describe this, I feel like linen, there's something about it that makes me feel like I am in some beautiful like hotel on the other side of the world on vacation. And I've been trying to pinpoint what it is that it feels like, but that's the vibe I get. I love that it has that kind of lived in cozy look when you make the bed, and I am really loving it. So I think you guys will too. Thank you again to Brooklinen for sponsoring this part of the video. Another goal we've set is to have one slow cooker meal a week. Just to know that there's one night that life is easy. You know what I mean? Like you do it in the morning and it's done. Last week we did our Mexican street corn chowder that we make like literally monthly. And as always, I'm always open. What are your favorite recipes? Like, is there one? Oh, one I wanted to try again. We did the Mississippi pot roast in I did a video on like our favorite like dump and go crock pot recipes, or we were trying 3 new ones. Anyway, I'll link that video if you want some inspiration. We tried in that video Mississippi pot roast. It was so easy, but my best friend said she does this, but with chicken, and then you shred it up, and I'm like, so I kind of want to try that too. So I think that might be our meal, and I need to figure out like, can I just put the potatoes in there with it, like cut them up and put them in there? My mom will know the answer to this because that'd just be easier to throw like carrots in there and potatoes. I know you can, but like, do I do that at the beginning with it, or do I wait and do it a few hours before? So I need to call my mom and ask. I'm sure she'd be glad to instruct me in regards to that. So, okay, got our slow cooker meal. I'm gonna do some homemade taquitos. This recipe is crazy good. I'll try to link it. It's from Avery Cooks. It's the baked cheesy beef taquitos, but I'm gonna try it with ground turkey this time just to switch it up, see what we come up with. All right, we've got our little meal plan. This we've talked about a lot. This, instead of Mississippi pot roast, so I figured I'd call it Mississippi chicken. I don't know. I just called my mom and she didn't pick up, so I'm gonna ask her that question here in a bit. I'll see her later today at the graduation. I'm gonna do the baked cheesy taquitos, and then what I call teriyaki tofu stir fry. We basically get like vegetable fried rice frozen. This is like meant to be a super easy night. Vegetable fried rice that's frozen, and we'll scramble some eggs and then put them in there. We'll get frozen veggies, like the stir fry veggies, and we mix it all in there. So basically we take fried rice and make it even better. Like we just add more of what we want to it, but it still ends up being really easy. And then the tofu, we basically just cut up and cook on the stove, and then we get really good teriyaki sauce on top. So super easy, and we usually double it because that's a really good and easy lunch. So yeah, we are all set. Now to add all of these ingredients to our grocery list. I really appreciate you guys being here while I meal plan. It makes it a little bit easier. I don't know. If you like to cook, how do you do recipes? Like, do you just save them online if you have them? Do you just use cookbooks? Like we have cookbooks we love and the recipes are in there. We also have recipe cards. Sometimes I'm like, boy, it'd be really nice if all of this were all together in one thing, but honestly, it'd be way more work than it'd ever be worth. And I love our little recipe card box. We've got a lot of recipes from family in there, so that's special in that way. And there are certain things, like we have a lot of dips, like recipes for dips that we keep in there. I don't know why. I was just thinking about it. I'm like, I feel like we have a lot, and we have a lot of breakfast recipes written onto recipe cards. But the other thing we'll write on recipe cards specifically is, like, we've landed on a perfect way to bake bacon. And it always ends up with perfect bacon. So once we nailed it, I say we, really it's Tyler. Once he nailed it, I was like, all right, write down exactly how you did it so that any of us could replicate it. That's kind of the way we use recipe cards, and it works really well. said it before and I'll say it again. My grocery bill is 50% of what it is at a regular store. I freaking love Aldi so much. Just ran an errand I honestly forgot about. I picked up the dress that I got hemmed in a previous vlog for our that upcoming wedding we're going to. So, looks good. Glad to have that done, and it looks like they steamed it. Like, looks better than when I dropped it off. I don't know that they would have. I don't know. It looks good. So, very glad to have that done. Tyler has found a tux, and he's getting that altered as well, and hopefully his will be done soon. We should have plenty of time before the trip. So I am gonna head home. I want to show you what groceries I picked up. There are a couple things, as always, that I can't find at Aldi. I'm outside this new store that literally just opened days ago. I'm like, do I go in? But I think it's one of those fancy stores, and what I'm looking for is au jus gravy mix, and I just have this feeling they won't have it. I do need to go into it eventually, but I feel like time is not of the essence right now, so we're gonna go home. Alright, so for a quick little haul, I got some almond milk and regular milk. I've tried their almond milk, and I'm honestly not a very big fan. It does taste different than other brands, but I haven't tried their organic. I don't know that I knew they had that, so I figure I'll try it and see what it tastes like. Also got some of this peanut butter. You need no-stir peanut butter for the protein balls, and we're almost out, so I'm going to make some more. And then we just also needed creamy peanut butter because the recipe will use most of this, I feel like. So there's that. I got some cereal. Cinnamon Life is one of my favorite cereals in the world. So the Aldi brand of it is really, really good. And then got some Honey Nut Cheerios, if you will. Some cottage cheese. We all love cottage cheese in this household. So we're entering like kind of recipe territory, like dinners. So we needed black beans for the sausage bowls we make, and we needed cherry tomatoes and broccoli, which is over there. For the Mississippi chicken, pot roast, whatever, I'm gonna do these potatoes in there. I did get a hold of my mom, and she said she just puts big chunks of potatoes and carrots in with the meat when she first turns it on. So I'm gonna do that. I honestly might leave these whole, because they'll have the whole day to cook anyway. If I don't, I would just cut them in half, maybe. Maybe that's what I'll do. I could not find veggie fried rice there. A lot of times I find that at Trader Joe's, but I figure chicken fried rice works. And then I got ground turkey for those taquitos. And then kind of in the moment, I got some sauerkraut and sausage. Just one of our quick go-to meals we'll have every once in a while when it's just one of those nights that we have no time for dinner, but we don't really want to do something frozen. It's just a quick and easy meal. The teriyaki for the tofu, and there's the tofu. We usually get 2, so we have some left over. The cream cheese is for, I think, the taquito recipe. Then got some almonds. We've been putting these in plain yogurt with honey mixed in, and then like some flax and chia ground up, and then what else? Oh, usually like blueberries or something like that, and it's really, really good, and the crunch of the almonds totally makes it. The girls have been loving these freeze-dried apples. We fly through this bag. I thought about getting a few, but it was like a couple dollars for this bag, and the fact that we can in one sitting eat it, I was like, I'm just gonna get one. Enjoy it, and because otherwise we'll just eat through them so quickly. Hummus, we all love hummus, so I got 2 different kinds there. Got some avocados. I just got these because it was near the checkout, and I was like, that looks good. The Ritz toasted chips. I don't know that I've ever had these. They look familiar to me, but I don't know. I literally got an entire bag of these, 89 cents, best deal in town, for pouches that have veggies and fruit in them. I just feel like these are amazing. I'll give these to the girls as long as they'll take them. Genevieve's definitely too old for them, but I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of good in these, and if she wants to have one every day, I don't care. Especially at the price of 89 cents. It gets a little harder when they're way more expensive. So as I mentioned, broccoli, we needed some napkins and eggs. This ranch mix is for, same thing I need that darn au jus mix for, the pot roast thing. Got these cheese sticks, by the way, are so good. They're like not a full square or circle, they're like rectangles, and they're thinner. They taste better, and I don't know what that is, but all of us agree that they taste better. Got some baby carrots for snacking, mini bagels. The girls are having a moment with these, so, and we had regular sized bagels, and Genevieve was like, I like the taste of mini bagels better. I'm like, okay, they're the same, but whatever you say, kid. Guacamole, because Felicity loves, I mean, I love guacamole too, but she loves this stuff for a snack. Sour cream, I got a few kombuchas, some pita chips, and what else? Mom and dad bread, kid bread. I try every time with them with these, but Felicity, I think, would eat the seedy bread. So I might keep trying with her, but Genevieve definitely is just wanting some plain, non-seeded bread. In fairness to her, when I was a kid, I also did not like seeded bread. And then some granola bars. Again, I just saw them and I was hungry and we're out. I did not know they had pre-sliced mango slices. I'm excited about that. Some strawberries. We got these Outshine bars. These are smaller than the usual ones we get, but they're no sugar added, which I thought was kind of cool. And we fly through popsicles. And then a couple things of tissues. I think that is everything. Okay. I'm eating some lunch, watching The Office, as I am wont to do. And just got emotional because, well, first of all, I mentioned Genevieve's graduating preschool, which I know is like silly. Like, it's adorable, it's cute, but you know, it's the fact that, man, it feels like time is flying by. And I'd always heard that with kids, like, time can feel, it's just true with life in general, but like time can feel like it goes so slow and so fast at the same time. And I just had this moment earlier, and I wonder if any of you guys can relate, where we were taking a picture of Genevieve, you know, like on our porch, like last day of preschool kind of stuff. And we always try to get video, which, side note, if you have young kids or even grandkids, I had this idea today, and I'm sure other people do it, but I'm like, I definitely want to do it, where we get our like first day photo, but we get a little bit of video just for us of, you know, just the way she is, you know, like, are you excited for your last day or for your first day? And I figure when she's graduating, and this really got the waterworks going for me today. I was like, that way when she's graduating high school or whatever, we can put all the videos together in order and just see her interacting as she grows up. It's too much. I can't dwell on it too long, but anyway. But I had this moment where I was just looking at her and I'm like, gosh, like, how can you be... I'm like trying to soak in these moments as much as I can. And I'm like, how can I be inside this moment? And also, like, it's almost as if you're looking at it from the outside. I don't know. I thought of it because I was thinking of The Office. And at one point, Andy Bernard says something like, you know, something about like, how do you, I'm going to butcher it, but like, how do you not know you're living in the good old days? Like, I wish you could know you were living in the good old days while you're living in them, or something like that. And we do, right? Like, you have those moments in your life where you're like trying so hard to soak in whatever it is, and you feel like you can't soak it in enough because you feel time passing by and you see your kids growing up. And does it get any easier? I have been so emotional today. It's just so surprising to me. It's just surprising me because, like I said, it's such a silly thing. I'm like, maybe I can just get it all out now. I'm trying to be more real with you guys, and this is this is real. And I'm really upset that I did my makeup today because now I'm gonna have to touch it all out before we go. But anyway, here's to hoping I can get it all out of my system and be a normal human being that's not bawling at a preschool graduation. Anyway, it's just Tyler tries to remind me, like, you know, as much as it's hard to see your kids grow up, he reminds me, like, there's so many silver linings to it, though. Like, you know, we so look forward to time where we can just spend time alone together. And, like, those kinds of things, that there are amazing things that come with your kids growing up. But I don't know. I know a lot of you guys that are watching have grown kids. Give me your insight. Let's start a really great discussion, because I feel like these are the not as often talked about things that, you know, the happy parts of being a parent that are hard, because, you know, eventually they pass, and there's good, there's bad with it. But anyway, that's what's on my mind. Love you guys. Oh, hello there. Doing my makeup right now. I've got some new products I've been playing with. Let me put some lip balm on so you're not having to look at my like dry, crusty lip. Oh, that was way too much. I'm still loving the Pharmacy lip smoothie, the honey vanilla one. Oh my gosh. I feel like I talk about it every time. Okay, well, first of all, a couple quick reviews. The Elastin SPF, the super expensive, like, a lot of dermatologists love this brand. I like the way it sat on my skin, but it is too dark for my skin. So I'm like having to blend it. I'm like, okay, this is way too much work. So I don't know. I'm going to use it a couple more times. I feel like you can't tell. Like, obviously I have foundation on now, and I was trying to blend it down the neck. But like I said, with an SPF, I'm like, I don't want to work that hard. Like, there are too many other SPFs I love. So I think if you're near my skin tone or lighter, I really do think it might be too dark. Anyway, I'm still loving, I haven't talked about it in a while, this Shiseido Synchro Skin Radiant. It's still one of my top favorite foundations. I just feel like it is so pretty on the skin. I need to set my face. I know. Another one I'm really enjoying is the Physicians Formula Diamond Bronzer. This is that like cream to powder. I want to use it, but I also want to show you the Say one. Well, let's do the Physicians Formula, at least on one side, and I'll show you kind of what it looks like. But it's just a really kind of low-key, like easy to blend in, easy to apply, really thin, I would say, of a cream, a really thin cream. It's a little more hydrating and definitely has, I think, a little bit of a, does it have like a shimmer in it? I don't want to say shimmer, but I feel like it really does have a little bit of radiance to it. So if you're not into that, you probably wouldn't like it. It's a little bit warm, but not too wildly warm, at least this one. This is in Bronze Gem. So yeah, I just feel like it's a really fun one at the drugstore that's maybe not as crazy pigmented as some of the other ones I've tried. If I were to be asked, I can see the comments now, this one versus the Milani cream one, you're probably gonna have better luck with Milani finding maybe a shade that works for you, because I don't think there are a ton of shades of this. I feel like this is just a little bit easier to work with than the Milani, but the Milani one is still easy enough to work with and it blends in. So I think it's just dealer's choice if there's a brand you prefer, whatever, or like I said, a shade. Let me show you. So this is the new Say, and I'll show you this in natural light. I know this lighting's awful. The Say Dew Bronze Bronzer. This one's in the shade Sand. This is, I swear to you, the exact same formula as their, I have it right here, their Say liquid blush that I have loved for probably a couple years now. The shade Peachy is a fave. But this one is great because, again, it blends in super easily. Because it's like almost a slightly thicker liquid, I feel like it almost has a little bit of coverage, kind of like the NARS one I love. They have another shade of this that's, I think, cooler, like near my skin tone, that's cooler. I would consider buying too, because I don't know, I love that. And so Physicians Formula, the Say one, I mean, they kind of look similar. Let me show you in regular lighting. So there's, I could probably stand to blend that a little bit better, both of them. But yeah, so just in case you were curious, those are some newer launches that I've been messing with here on my own, but I don't know that I've really shown or talked about. I also have a couple of new blushes from, I have some powder blushes from NARS. I've really been liking their talc-free ones, but I also have this one from Lawless and Angel, and I've only swatched it. It looks really pretty. It kind of feels like a cream to powder type cream. And the other shade I have is Rosebud, which looks a little bit more like a deeper mauve right there. So I'm gonna go with the other one if I'm gonna do it. I have not used this yet, like I said. So let's just see what happens. Ooh, okay. Use the other side of the brush to kind of blend it. I feel like this is gonna be one of those cream blushes that's deceiving because it really does have that powder finish. So you think you have time, but I feel like even just there, I felt like I was already running out of time. So this is not going to have, I'm trying to see, like really a liquid blush or cream blush finish. It really does kind of dry down, which might be exactly what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Looks pretty. I'll keep messing with this. It looks good. I mean, I have no complaints other than I typically like a dewier cream blush, but honestly, I end up throwing a little powder on top anyway, so this might be a better option for me. You know what I mean? I'm looking real greasy. The other thing I recently bought is the Natasha Denona powder foundation. It's really pretty. It's really pretty. You guys know I love powder foundation, but this one is really, really, really pretty. This, I have the shade N3. You guys know I'm wearing the Natasha Denona concealer, but like, I mean, it looks really nice. Yeah, I have N3 in the concealer too, which actually, every time I apply it, I'm like, is it a little dark for me? But it always blends in so perfectly that I'm like, you know what, Jessica? It works well, don't mess with it. So yeah, N3 in both of those if you were curious. I just dug my finger in there. And it does, the packaging's kind of cool, and it does have a little, oh, it's kind of a decent sponge, actually, I have to say. Anyway. So, oh, and a mirror too. Ooh. This might find its way into my purse, honestly. All right, this lighting's up, we're like very backlit, but honestly, I was chilling here and I was like, oh, let's film here. So I wanted to do like an update on books I finished lately. I've been doing this every month. If you want to see last month's kind of book chat, I will link it. It's within a vlog just like this. So let me pull up what I finished since last time. Honestly, what reminded me to do this is my Kindle died and I needed to charge it. And we have like, I'll just show you. Oh, and they're already charged anyway. There we go. One of those like two-pronged little things. And so we just have 2 of our micro USBs here. And every time I go to charge mine, I charge his. So then we're always good. Is this gonna be bright enough? Hopefully it's okay, you guys. Since last time, I think I had just finished None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. So I mentioned that I was reading The Alchemist. Apparently when this book released, and correct me if I'm wrong, I was looking into it and it apparently released it to like, no one really cared about it. And then it suddenly just like picked up and now it just like people talk about it all the time. And it's been out for a while now. It's one of those like coming of age of stories of like, and I'm not gonna ruin anything here, of like following your dream and figuring out what that really means. I, out of 5, rated this 3 stars. I am all in. I love like classic novels, like old school things. So I'm thinking, honestly, like Tyler read it and he wasn't a fan. And I was like, it kind of sounds like something I would like though. I was interested because it talks about Egypt and we had just been there. And so like there's those pieces of it that I personally found interesting. But let me read a little blurb about it. So it said, it's an inspiring tale of self-discovery. It's become a modern classic, millions of copies sold. The mystical story of Santiago, an Andalusian shepherd boy who yearns to travel in search of a worldly treasure. So you're basically following his quest, okay? Again, I like epics like that. I just feel like it fell flat. Like, I kind of walked away being like, I mean, I kind of understand what I'm supposed to get out of it, but like also, I kind of don't, and I not to toot my own horn, but I'd like to think I'm a pretty deep thinker. I'm certainly an overthinker. I don't know. If you've read it, let me know your thoughts. Did you just absolutely love it? Did you feel like it was life-changing? Because there are even a bunch of celebrities that say like, oh my gosh, The Alchemist changed my life. I don't know. Let me know. Am I missing the mark? Maybe I am. For our last book club, we read the book Ugly Love. Oh, I'm sorry, no. That's the one we just read. I'm hosting it. I've just finished it a few weeks ago, but it's like in a week that I'm hosting our book club. This book, again, I'm not gonna spoil anything, was about this woman who basically she's living with her brother and meets this friend of her brother's. And her brother and him are both happen to be pilots, which really doesn't turn out to be that important in the story, but just sharing it. And he is definitely like a tortured soul. Like something went on in his past. And so they create some kind of a relationship, which again is not really a spoiler, but you just follow what this looks like with her falling into this relationship with someone that has this big secret that she can't really dig deep enough to get him to talk about. Definitely can be a tearjerker at times. It definitely can be spicy at times. So I'm not gonna say anything more than that because I feel like anything else I'd share would spoil something, but I thought it was interesting. I think I gave it like 4 out of 5 stars. It was one that I was enjoying reading, you know what I mean? It's not like a life-changing story. I wouldn't say it's just an enjoyable story to read. I would say that. I finally finished the book, What Happened to You, it says Conversations on Trauma, Resilience, and Healing. So it's by Dr. Bruce D. Perry and Oprah Winfrey. They kind of like wrote, they explained their relationship like she's known him for decades, blah, blah. But anyway, he wrote like most of the book and then she would interject with a chapter here and there. And it was really interesting. This is one I actually listened to a lot on Audible as well. Or not on Audible, I got it from the library. And it was just one of those books that really does change the way you think about a lot of things in life. And I'm a big fan of mind shifter, life-changing type books like that. I just today started reading, speaking of that, 101 Essays to Change the Way You Think. It happened to be available. So I was listening to the audiobook earlier this morning and already I'm finding myself rewinding and wanting to listen to something again, or I'll pause it and just like think about it. And I'm like, that was me driving while thinking. Anyway, I love books like that. So this book was totally up my alley. There were definitely some parts that got a little headier, a little more scientific. I still thought was interesting. I think they presented it in a way that was still easy to understand. But yeah, it's just one of those books. I know numerous people in my family, Tyler included, have read that book and recommended it to me. So it's been on my list for forever. I think I rated it 4 out of 5. I'd probably do like 4.5. I don't know. Like I say every time, I hate rating. It's like every year that I read more books, I would change ratings I've done years ago. And anyway, really self-conscious about my ratings. If you're curious, my goal for this year was to read 30 books. And right now I am 1 book ahead of schedule. The other book, so I'm listening to 101 Essays That Change the Way You Think. And the book I'm reading, and I'm like 60% of the way through, is, I don't know if that's gonna focus, Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. I can pop it on screen. Okay, if you like Michigan, we live in Indiana, we love going to Michigan. Like all my life from age 0 to like 18, 19, 20, I'd never been to Michigan, which is insane because it's like 2.5 hours north of us. Like it is so close. So now we've explored a lot of Michigan. Now I have family that lives there. And anyway, we love it up there. Like depending on where you go, there are just so many beautiful areas that I'm like, oh my gosh, like how did I not know about any of this? Point is, it's set in Michigan on a cherry farm, but the other half, it goes like from the past to now. And I'm totally enjoying it. It also is talking about like the main character. She's like a mom of 3 grown girls now, like in the present day, but she's telling the story of like basically summer stock theater. So if you know that world, if you are into theater, you would love this book. You would absolutely love it. Like, oh my gosh, it's just been so fun to read. I don't really want to finish it, but I don't know that this book would be that enjoyable to everyone, but it is to me. So anyway, there's my review of 60% of the book, I guess. But thank you, because a few of you guys recommended that to me, and I appreciate it because that is a book I would have never given a second glance, and I'm so glad you guys recommended. So I'll take any recommendations. I have a very long list of what I want to read next, but if you got ideas or books you are loving, please let me know, because I love fleshing that list out. I have said fleshing and flushing so much in the past few days. And the other day I said, I don't know what I was talking about to Tyler, but I said, I just need to flush it out a little bit. I mean, he was like, I think you mean flesh. And I was like, yes. Like I've never thought about which it is. It's flesh it out, right? Like fill it out. And now I have said that like 6 times in the past like 2 days. What's going on? Anyway, I think I'm gonna end this video here. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. If you did, put 3, let's do sunglasses emojis. Is there a sunglass emoji? Yeah, let's do that. If there isn't, then do something that makes you think of summer down below, and I will know you're part of the crew that watched it all the way to the end. And if you did miss any of my vlogs, as usual, I'll link my playlist. Just click around in there. And of course, if you have not yet, I hope you subscribe and stick around. I'd love to have you. We do vlogs pretty much weekly. I'm doing all kinds of other videos, makeup-y, life, family, all the things. And of course, come say hey to me over on my Instagram. I'm on my Instagram stories all of the time. It's Jessica Braun over there, B-R-A-U-N. It's like in Blippi. He teaches kids how to spell Blippi. That's B-L-I-P-P-I. I think that might have been the first word Gigi knew how to spell. I love you all so much. Thank you to Brooklinen again for sponsoring a part of this video. If you want to get 15% off your first order, click the link that I have down below. Again, I highly recommend their washed linen hardcore sheet bundle. We absolutely love it. If you're not into linen, I'd recommend their Luxe Sateen. You cannot go wrong with any of them. Brooklinen is something I've recommended to plenty of my family and friends here, not in the internet world, but in my real life too, because it really is the highest quality bedding and bath stuff that I've ever used, that I've ever like touched in stores. Like it really is a league above. So highly, highly recommend. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.